Okay, Neha, can you do the honors for us today?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know the exact wording anymore, but it's like, tell us you're recording to avoid legal snags.
All right. Okay. Thank you
Wait,
for
what did
that.
she say? Wait, what did she say?
Um,
Ta-
Skype reminds you to remind everyone that you're recording to avoid legal snags. Anyways, I am okay. Can you guys see my screen?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I turned off the timer feature just because there's no point right now. I think
Yeah.
right now it's better just to go through it. So let's just get started. So, all right, the basic error of so this is obviously not in our time period. This is talking about Russian Revolution, 1918, right? So the basic
Okay.
error of the Lenin-Trotsky theory is that they too oppose dictatorship to democracy. Dictatorship or democracy is the way they put the question. They decide in favor of
Exactly.
dictatorship over
Dictatorship
democracy,
over democracy.
and thereby in favor of the dictatorship of a handful of persons. This is far removed from a genuine socialist policy. The proletariat must exercise a dictatorship, but not the dictatorship of a party or a clique, or of a clique. Yes, dictatorship, but it must be the work of the class and not of a little leading minority in the name of the class. It must proceed step by step out of the active participation of the masses. It must be under their direct influence, subjected to the control of of completed public activity. So we definitely see socialism, but the idea is with a dictatorship, right? Um, and the reason they say the dictatorship must be, they're talking about the dictatorship, but they want it to be based on the whole class, not just a few people. Um, that makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
let's see. It's probably not going to be
Yeah.
intellectual
It's not.
opposition to communism. That's probably
Yeah.
not
It's
it.
not a.
That's probably not it because this doesn't seem like
Is it C?
Yeah,
it's.
Yeah, I think it's C.
it is.
I think so too. I think it's C. So that doesn't. Yeah,
MG,
that one.
what do you? Oh wait, never mind, never mind. I was
Yeah, I
like,
was.
why are there lines? Yeah, never
I've
mind.
never used this before, so I was just messing around with it. Anyways, all right, next. Oh wait, it lets you show answer. I think we should go ahead and check. Yep, perfect. Good. Same document. Okay, so real quick, if we were to do a document analysis on this, obviously you could use the Russian Revolution. If we were analyzing point of view, what would we say about this? We could probably talk about the Soviets and how they formed in Russia, and we can talk about that as kind of like context, right? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we could
We can
talk
talk about the
about.
time, like how it's 1918.
Yeah, sure. So that would be right after World War II, I think.
Middle of the Russian Revolution.
One.
When did
Well,
yeah, one, yeah. When did World War One end?
I think.
November 11th, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's right around the end of World War One, which is definitely important when we're trying to figure out context, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The passage fits into which of the following political contexts? So not the Tsar, we're not dealing with the Tsar here. The
B.
Bolshevik takeover of Russia, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like Max said, good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a
What was
parliamentary
the
monarchy.
what was that again?
So the Bolshevik Revolution was so the Bolsheviks were the party, I think, of the Soviets. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
think
the
so. Here, let me look it up.
it was Russia's extreme communism party.
Okay, perfect. So
Okay, yeah,
that's
that's what I
by
thought.
Lenin, right? Yeah, by
Yeah.
Vladimir Lenin. And Lenin is I closed that by accident. We might have to restart.
Oh.
Whoops. Okay, we've done that already. Good. Yeah, never mind. We did not select we did select the right answer. It wouldn't have been C, we know that, and it wouldn't have been D because obviously we're talking about the rise of the Soviet Union, not the fall. Good. Moving on. Luxemburg's main argument appears to be that. So that's good. So really, we've talked about this. We've talked about how communism should reflect the mass of the working classes, right? We said that that was the main idea, right? Because we're talking about um, proletariat exercising the dictatorship, not the dictatorship of a party or clique, right?
Mm-hmm.
So D is
Oh,
wrong,
C.
C seems wrong, and then D also seems wrong, right? Because
She's
we're
pro.
yeah, she's pro, exactly. Oh, hi
Mm-hmm.
Chandana, welcome. All right. Wait.
Also, Naseem joined as well.
Oh, hi Naseem. I didn't see her. Okay. Show answer. Yeah. Perfect. That's right.
Okay.
Moving on. Same document. Okay. Which of the following best describes the short-term outcome of the event? So we're still talking about the Russian Revolution. Lenin and his compatriots quickly fell from power. I don't think so, because he would have
No.
risen to power, right?
Mhm.
They stayed in power after winning a civil war. That's probably what I'm thinking, but I'm not
It
sure
is.
yet. Okay, good. Lenin and his compatriots agreed to share power with other political parties. That's unlikely because we're talking about a dictatorship here. Lenin and his compatriots were deposed by victorious Germans during World War I. That wouldn't make sense because Germany didn't win, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Good. All right, moving on. And there's one more about this document. Which of the following best describes long-term developments in Russia after the event under discussion?
I think it's A.
Yeah.
A. Stalin. Yes. Okay,
Seems
liberal.
right.
That doesn't seem right because we're not looking at a liberal economy. Realized all the utopian goals. Obviously, they didn't because there was problems. Soviet rule abandoned communist ideology altogether. That's much after though, so I think yeah, A seems like the right answer. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, new document, and this is from 1949. Once again, after the time period, but we're looking at the second sex, so I'm assuming it's talking about women's rights, which is a theme that appears over and over in the course description. So that's something we can definitely look at. All right. Does anyone else want to read, or I can read? Either way is fine. All right,
I don't know. You don't have to read it out loud if you don't want to. Like.
Okay, either way. I mean, I think I prefer reading it out loud because it just help me understand it better. But yeah,
Okay.
this has always been a man's world, but what advantage has enabled him to carry out his will? Historically, the bondage of reproduction was a terrible handicap for women in the struggle against a hostile world. Pregnancy, childbirth, and menstruation reduced their capacity for work and made them at times wholly dependent upon men for protection and food. So I'm not going to read the rest. I think the whole idea here is that that woman is dependent on man, right? That's what it makes it seem like. I don't know. With the invention of the tool, maintenance of life became for men an activity and a project, while motherhood left woman revetted to her body like an animal. Yeah, it seems like this document makes it seem like men are civilized human beings and women are animals who are dependent on men. That's what it seems like, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay. So this is not a feminist analysis. Calls for political reform. Where actually it might
Wait, it might be
Well,
D. Yeah,
it's
it might be
No,
D. You're right.
I think it's saying that like it's like saying why society has like believed men to be like superior or whatever, but I don't think like the author
Simone sounds
believed.
like a girl's name. I mean, you
Simone
know.
sounds like okay. Okay.
Let me just see.
Okay, I see what
feminist
you're
doesn't have
saying.
to be a
Yeah.
girl. So.
Yeah, she's a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting that out there.
But what about this sentence though? Pregnancy, childbirth, and menstruation reduced their capacity for work and made them. Okay, so it's kind of explaining the reason why.
So I think it is D.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait,
We're
so
not
what's the
seeing.
difference between C and D if she's a feminist and doesn't
So
she want?
she's analyzing why there's inequality versus because she's not saying directly we want reform, right? She's not saying we want reform. We don't see imperialism and social Darwinism. So those are, yeah, this is too late for those two. So yeah, D would make the most sense. Yeah, D's the right answer.
Wait,
Good.
so why are we doing ones about in the 1900s if that's not on the test?
Just for document analysis, and this.
Oh, okay.
Of course, this can definitely help us. You can talk about this if you want to. But
Also, it's a practice test, so it's like a mix of everything.
yeah.
So,
Okay. In de Beauvoir's eyes, what is the root cause of the problem? Okay. That seems like the right
what is
answer. I don't know.
Ooh,
Chauvinism.
Chauvinism?
I'm thinking of
Chauvinism?
C.
It's like sexism, basically.
Oh,
Patriotism.
What? I did
oh,
I did
what?
not know that.
I think it can be. Yeah, it can be sexism. Yeah, so it's just
Okay.
excessive like devotion towards some
Prejudice?
sort of
Oh.
prejudice. There we go.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't. I feel like it's B because
It might be C.
it might be C. You're right.
Because he
But
talks
I
about how them not being able to control that has like made them have to stay at home and depend on men.
Yeah, I think it could be C because a lot of
Could
it is
be.
about
Yeah,
pregnancy.
yeah, greater aptitude for tech. Yeah, that doesn't make that could actually make sense too because we are talking about. Let's see. So if we're looking for a
Well,
phrase
it
that
says the root cause. So
yeah.
where does it say that the root
and the
cause?
question.
In the
Oh,
question.
yeah, the root cause is. But I feel like ramifications is effects, right?
Well, yeah, because females have the ability to get pregnant. It's saying that they have to focus on mostly that, while men
I
can
see.
do
I
work and
see. Okay,
stuff.
okay. I see what you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
You're
think
right.
this
You're
is
right.
it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not B. You're right. That would make sense for why it wouldn't be B.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's the other ones. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Moving
Okay.
on. In the generation following de Beauvoir's, access to which of the following did most to allow Western women to move past the obstacle she had identified? This is like a human geography
Birth
thing,
control.
obviously.
Birth control,
Yeah,
yeah.
Birth control, yeah.
I think that's the most logical. Exactly. Good. Okay. Earlier waves of activism related to the subject under consideration of the passage held had concentrated more on which of the following?
Voting.
A, yeah.
Voting. Yeah, suffrage. We know about that. We've talked a lot about suffrage,
Yeah.
right? The Seneca Falls Convention and that kind of thing. Good.
Actually, we
Was
really
that in the
didn't talk
20s?
about like anything. Like
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
it was
I'm
like
saying like in our thing.
yeah,
What
I know. I'm
Was the
just saying
Seneca Falls Convention in the 20s? I forget.
that
it's D.
was
This is D, right? This one.
Seneca Falls. Let's see. Seneca Falls was in 1848.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Which of the
I don't
following?
know. It
Oh wait,
felt like a 20s thing to me for some
19,
reason.
1918, I think,
Oh, women got
So-
or
the right to vote,
1921 or
right?
something. Is when they
These
gained the right to
two-
vote.
Yeah, okay, that makes
These
sense.
two were later,
I
or
think
these two were earlier, right? Because we talked about Degauche and Wollstonecraft in
Yeah.
our right? Because that vindicate if that's in the 1800s, it's highly unlikely that that's gonna go till the 1900s. And there was another one, right? What's her name? Olympe de Gouges. Yeah, that seems to. So I'm thinking it's one of these two. I mean, we can just choose one and hope for the best, or we can search it up.
I
which
can
one
look
do
it
you want?
up.
Okay.
Betty.
Betty
American.
sounds like
She's an American, right? She was born. Okay, she was in 1960s. And then who's the other one? Rachel. Oh, the other one is a biologist. So I think it's
So
Betty.
it's Betty. Okay. Well, if she's a bio, okay, maybe I don't know.
like how
Yeah,
are we
okay.
expected to know like these random people?
Well, I think you would learn about them if you had learned if we had actually studied the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
women gained the right to vote in 1919.
Okay.
In
Good.
America. In America.
Yeah. Okay, new document. All right, good. This is in our time period. We see this is a
Mongols.
Mongolian.
The
Yes, make note.
Mongols.
And
favorite.
this is Chinggis Khan. How dare they say Genghis Khan over here?
B.
It does say Chinggis
Yeah.
Khan in there. That's good.
Sorry.
So the most likely purpose of including
it's B.
Chinggis Khan, yes,
B.
I would say that too. That
Easy dubs.
they're not gonna apologize. No one ever apologizes. To stake a claim, no, and no. Yeah, good. Which of the following would be considered to undermine most effectively the message? He was not truly Mongolian. That I don't think that's true. That's not true. Yeah, that's no. The Mongol state created by Chinggis Khan broke apart, and most of it no longer belongs to Mongolia. That would make sense, and that is true. Well, so
It's
I'm
C.
stuck between C and D.
Because it's saying
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
would
I think undermine.
undermine the message,
Yeah.
so D wouldn't undermine it.
It would, yeah, it would only, yeah, you're right.
The message is basically like it's like a unified whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Makes sense.
The previous, what was the answer to the previous one? Notable figure. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The tone of this image is described as not
National.
communist.
National.
It's
Yes.
feminist.
It's feminist. Yeah, it's definitely
feminist.
feminist, guys. Okay. Yeah. I feel like this is a little easier. I think it's gonna get harder because saying it's easy is famous last words. Which of the following is not among the factors thought by most historians to have played a role in disrupting the historical legacy? Imperial overreach is definitely
D.
one of the factors. Rivalry. Yeah. Well.
I would say
no,
C.
thought
I would say
it-
C.
No,
I
I'd say
thought it said
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
it's not
one
C.
is, sorry.
earthquakes.
Yeah. It would. Yeah. It wouldn't be earthquakes. Yeah.
No, sorry. I thought it said which one is a factor.
Yeah. It wouldn't be. Yeah. A and D are essentially saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. New question. So let's just do a quick document analysis on this, because just to practice. So we're looking at white immigration and Oriental exclusion. So this is obviously, we could relate this. So this is 1907, and this is in Canada, British Columbia, Saturday sunset. So this has to do with, like
Chinese.
white, Chinese exclusion policy and yellow peril and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Xenophobia, exactly. So what we're saying, so if
Probably
this is
A.
Neha, we're not even at the question yet.
so if this is by the British Columbia Saturday sunset, probably this is the, do we think the author supports or doesn't
No.
support this policy? They probably
Probably
don't
not.
support. Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't be showing this this lady kind of preventing them. So yeah, we would say the author doesn't support these exclusionist policies, and we can say historical context as xenophobia and yellow peril and that kind of thing. Okay, now Neha, you can walk us through the question.
Me. I just said it's A. I can't
You said it's
explain
A.
it.
All right, okay. The cartoon relates most
can-
closely the Pacific-wide migration of laborers from East and South Asia, the rise of
Yeah.
fascist ideologies. This doesn't seem like fascism at all.
My
The
favorite.
dismantling, the dismantling of European colonies. Not really. And then the large-scale movement of refugees. These aren't refugees, most likely. So, A seems right. Yes, good.
Yeah.
Good job, Neha. Okay, the cartoonist is most likely to be advocating which of the following policies? Fair hiring. No, this is definitely not fair.
This is
D.
Racially.
B.
Oh,
Advocating.
advocating. Whoops, not that. Never mind. Genocidal extermination, equal treatment. Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
it
see?
was B.
Wait.
Oh, so okay, so we were wrong in our document analysis. Okay.
I thought
So-
it was
That's why
because,
I
this
was gonna
person's from
say that,
Canada,
but I-
so I thought that they would be like, what are they doing there in the States?
Okay, so these.
No, I
This
think
is
this is
from-
talking about in Canada.
Look
Oh,
how they're
because-
portraying the Oriental people. Apart
You're
from
right.
the-
They're portraying them as like.
Oh, I didn't see
I was
that.
gonna say
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
know
thought that
if-
initially, and then you guys said the opposite, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
same. I thought the same. I think maybe let's. So that's something I tend to do as well. I tend to
It's hard to tell
overanalyze.
sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I tend to
didn't- I
overanalyze.
didn't see how they portrayed the Oriental people.
Here, let's make this document a little bigger just to be able to see a little bit better what's going on.
And then
Mom.
there's like a little sentence at the bottom.
Black.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so-
Well, my computer is being slow. Okay,
Oh.
that's better. Okay, so
And then the sentence at the bottom.
okay, so we see ships, we see white immigration. These look like civilized people coming into work with hammers and police caps and hats, and they're ready. And these people on this side, they're just a bunch of squiggly lines, and they look like they're ghosts. That's what they look like. They don't look human. They look like they're misfigured, and they look like they're trying to they're trying to take advantage of resources. So this is the same act which includes Orientals should open wide the portals of British Columbia to white immigrants. Okay, so if we had read that, we would have obviously known that they're supporting white
Yeah, that's why I
immigration.
read it and I was like, I don't know if I should like.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Okay. Well,
that was
now
from
we know.
Yes, now we know. Um,
Now
so
we know.
so
Oh,
if
sorry, that's
on the
from
DBQ, I wouldn't do document analysis on a I wouldn't do document analysis on a picture or a cartoon simply because those are harder to figure out unless you have that background information.
How many
Yeah,
would
I
you
think it's easier to
recommend
do.
doing? Like, I know it requires two, but like, how many should we probably do to be safe?
Maybe three,
Analysis?
but I've just
Three.
been doing two because I usually feel like the two I do them on are the ones I feel safe about. So then again, I might not get the point, but I first do two, and then if I'm good with time, then I'll do another one.
Also, do you just like when you do the analysis, do you do the analysis and then also just like say whatever you know about that topic and like try to get
Yeah, that's what
complexity?
I do. That's what I do, to make it seem like I'm smart, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
I'm
easy
not
to
really
do
smart.
historical
But
context analysis on like a picture though? Because it doesn't like outright tell you.
with context,
Unless you
yes, with
don't know the
context it would be
time.
easier. Yeah, unless you don't
Like,
know the time. But
yeah.
perspective is hard, much harder. I mean, a lot of
What
these
is
Unless you have
one?
unless you have like the author, like who
the
it's
name of the
about,
author,
who,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Asian immigrants who successfully moved to the western regions would most probably have participated in the building of railroads. I think that's pretty obvious,
Yeah.
right?
Probably, yeah.
Not banana republics were in Latin America. Sugarcane is
Yeah.
sugarcane production was also in
Who
plantations. Guano was
guano is
also in
in
South
Latin
America.
America.
Guano is
Yep.
like fertilizer from.
Yes, it's bird
Yeah.
poop.
It's
Um,
bird. Yeah.
yep, perfect.
Okay.
Moving on, other measures pursued elsewhere in the British Empire at the time, the policy supported by the cartoon relates to, so this is in Canada, right? So
The
unlikely to
white
be White House,
Australia.
but it could be that. Not that. It's not the Indian Removal Act. Exclusion of non-whites from British officers' clubs in the colonies. I feel
What
like
color?
it actually might be the White Australia policy, right?
No, I think it is. Yeah.
Because it says Canada, um ultimately we might be.
Yeah, it's White Australia. Because
Oh,
this one,
UK.
the
So
White Australia one was
Yeah.
like specifically about Asians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, perfect.
Yay.
Moving on. Which of the following legal or practical outcomes was most likely to have been boosted by the sentiment? Um, the enslavement of workers, maybe. The forced expulsion, most likely. That's probably the right answer. The internment of resident aliens, maybe. Racial quotas, maybe. These are all very good possible answer choices.
What's
Um,
internment?
I don't think it's enslavement.
yeah, it's not
First,
enslavement. That doesn't make sense. Internment, I
uh,
think it's talking about like camps, right? So it's not probably not that.
I don't think they had
Um,
camps, did they?
I don't think so. I don't think it's
West.
racial. It might
each
be racial
year.
quotas or forced expulsion.
I
What
think
did
it
the
might be D because B seems like a kind of like
I
extreme,
don't
but
know.
I don't know
It says
that much
each
about
year.
Canada.
I don't know
So
if there was racial quotas put on it each year.
let's just
The US
okay.
had camps.
Let's see White Australia policy. What we got. I do
Well,
remember
this
we
isn't
had
White Australia though.
um.
oh, this is in Australia.
So this is more about regulation of immigrants. So if it's regulation, I'm thinking it's gonna
I
be
think it's
quotas.
B.
You think it's
Oh,
B?
just kidding.
I feel
I
like they
think
would
it's
No,
like
never
B.
mind. I mean, it's
expel
okay.
every non-white,
I
and
might
I
be
could totally
wrong,
see
but
that.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
That's
don't know
probably
either.
right.
Let's see. Let's see.
It could be
I don't
D
know.
because they were
Yeah,
like
it is
stopping
D.
them, the exclusion
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is
don't know.
D.
The thing each year was just throwing me off.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it because they probably wouldn't say quotas overall, because then if they put an overall quota, then they wouldn't let anyone else in at all. So that's probably why it's per year. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Wait.
Okay,
Was the
yeah.
question asking like hypothetically, or was it like?
Was most likely to have been
Most
boosted.
likely.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But like this actually happened.
Okay. Oh, I
Like
think we read about Tocqueville in
the
8th grade, right?
Tocqueville. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. From this foul drain, the greatest stream of human industry flows out to fertilize the whole world. From this filthy sewer, pure gold flows. Here, humanity attains its most complete development in its most brutish state. Here, civilization works its miracles, and civilized man is turned almost into a savage. Okay, so that's an
That's
interesting
so intense.
juxtaposition of um, industry or the positive effects and the negative effects of industry, right? But ultimately, it seems like he doesn't support it. What do you guys say?
But why is
Doesn't
it
support
called
what?
Journeys to England and Ireland?
Maybe because he was French, right? And he visited these
Yeah,
countries.
didn't he visit them?
Um, so yeah, I don't think he supports them. He doesn't support industrialization, and he looks at it as detrimental to the environment. So he he doesn't endorse this. There's no racial. I don't think there's any racial opposition
Says
here.
radical.
Oh, radical. Whoops. An example of radical opposition. It doesn't seem radical. Um, yeah, it doesn't seem radical here.
Could
Acknowledgement
be
of industry
D.
could could be D,
Yeah.
could
I
be
think it's
A,
D.
but I think it's D.
Yeah, me
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
too. Okay.
Moving on.
Cool.
Okay. The broad context for the left is industrialization, obviously,
D.
right? Yeah, D.
Yeah.
Good. Um, which of the following can most safely be concluded about Tocqueville's feelings regarding the social impact of the phenomenon he writes about? No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's
either
A.
C or D. I think D.
I think it's D.
I think D.
Yeah, I think it's D.
Because that's why he's talking
Yes.
about like both sides of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not talking about the values of. I don't think he's focusing too much on the past. So yeah, D seems like the
Yeah.
right answer. Good. Okay, so if we were to do document analysis on this, obviously you could talk about the Industrial Revolution as contextualization, or I mean context, historical context. Intended audience is probably France, right? Because he's trying to go to these countries and report back to France. And
It
then
could
if
be
we were
just
doing,
like Europeans, right?
it could be that, definitely. You could talk. So if you think it's two, what I like to do is I like to put both on there. So I'll say his intended audience seems to be France as well as other European nations seeking to industrialize. So that way, even if one of them is wrong, you still have a potential of getting the point. And then purpose, obviously, we said, or I mean, point of view, seems to be talking about the mixed effects to demonstrate the mixed effects of industrialization. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the following can be most safely concluded from de Tocqueville's description of Manchester? That A would make sense. B does not make sense because we're talking about the stream of industry. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's antiquity. Yeah, it doesn't seem like antiquity. It's a decentralized agricultural community. Not really, because it's
I think it's A.
industrialized. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
A.
A.
Good. Moving on. What was the long-term outcome of the trends described? Communist no, well, not really. Permanent and unchanging impoverishment of the working classes. Maybe, but not likely.
That sounds really like absolute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds very absolute. You're right. It's permanent. Yeah.
It's not
Um,
C.
economic reversion. No. Gradual spread. Yeah, that makes. I would say
Yeah.
that's the right answer. Good. Moving on.
Oh.
So
It's long.
yeah, this one's long. But something I'm
Oh.
noticing here is if you think about what potential and multiple choice questions could be, that could actually help you with document analysis because these multiple choice questions are essentially they are document analysis questions,
Yeah,
right?
the ones
Yeah.
in the IM skill book are also like the multiple choice practices they give you at the end of each like topic.
Yeah.
They all have documents, so it's like pretty
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, I think these definitely help.
Those are-
Okay. Our readers must excuse us if we stop a moment to investigate the enigmatic words of the archdiocon. This will kill that. The book will kill the edifice. First of all, it was the view of a priest. It was a fear of an ecclesiastic before a new force. The printing press. Okay, so printing press, religion. We know we're talking about Protestant Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Signified that one great power, the printing will destroy the church, but besides, there was a second, but it no longer belongs to the priest alone, but to the scholar and artist as well. Here was a premonition that human thought had advanced, was about to change, important new ideas, the vague formula that one part would dethrone another, it meant printing will destroy architecture. All
Is this
right.
from the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Okay.
Yes, this is from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh my
See,
god.
I don't know if to say
Look
Notre
at you
Dame or
go.
if I should say it in the French way, Notre Dame. See, I never know how to say it. This is the problem with speaking French and English. Okay. Um. Okay. Does he seem to support this idea? Printing will destroy architecture. So he seems to. Yeah.
He
I don't
seems to
know.
be think.
Go ahead.
Sorry, keep going. I think he's saying that like the introduction of a new type of like art will like decrease like a different type of art. So like
Yes, and I think
literature is like decreasing architecture.
And I also think that he's saying that the advent of the printing press will harm the church's power because remember the church was trying to
Yeah.
build these new cathedrals and stuff, right? So printing is going to that's an interesting perspective, I think, that he's talking both about art, and that's something you could potentially talk about for complexity, that he's mentioning both art as well as religious architecture. Okay, so Neha says it's C. We'll see. And I think I agree with that. It's not a feminist
Okay, calm
critique.
down, Neha.
What does polemic mean? I don't know what that means. I should know what that
means.
means.
Like strongly critical.
Yes. It's almost like Neha is a dictionary. Strongly critical. It's exactly word for word. That's good, Neha. Okay. So it's not that at all.
Yeah.
The insights that can be gained from primary sources, no. I think it's C.
Not really.
Good. Moving on. The main trend at stake is
Artistic and
yes, I agree.
yeah.
It could be D. Doesn't seem like B or A.
It's not B. It's not A.
It could be D, maybe.
It could be D.
But
You're
it's
right.
not at stake.
Yeah.
It would
You're
cause religious reform.
Yeah, it's not at stake.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, never mind. It's B apparently. Okay, maybe we didn't read it close. It's saying B. B. Technological changes.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
the
saying the
printing
printing
press.
press is like technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
But why would that be at stake though?
Check the explanation.
They haven't. Oh, they do have an explanation. While C and D are discussed in the excerpt, and while A has, the main issue revolves on the impact of new technology on how people in.
The wording is off for the question.
I think
how is
at
that
stake.
Yeah.
I think what they're talking about is
weird.
the main. I think what they're talking about is the main trend that's causing change. I don't think their wording was fair on this one, if I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, it is what it is. But I think I don't think we fully understood the meaning, but I think we understood overall what it meant with the whole idea of the printing press causing change in these. Yeah. Okay. Which outcome would be most directly related to the trend alluded in the passage?
Okay, it's not C or D.
Not that. It could be A.
It could be A.
I think it's A.
But okay.
Oh wait, which outcome? Okay,
I don't know.
But I think it's more about B because we're talking a lot about religion and we're talking about how it's going to destroy architecture and all that. So, never mind. It's just A. So obviously, we didn't understand this document at all. Maybe we should reread it another time, I think.
No, I thought it could be A, but I thought it was also.
No, I thought it could be
A.
A, but I wasn't sure.
I thought it said something about the illiterate. It said
Okay.
carvings and sculptures had provided the illiterate with a language of images and symbols. So now that there's books, they have to learn to read more.
Yeah.
And the printing press would also increase literacy.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so obviously I read through this too fast, and I should have been more careful, but...
I'm gonna be honest, I guessed. I was doing something when you guys were reading this, so I didn't read it.
This is also about the Protestant Revolution.
I think it is. Reformation. I think you could, if you were doing like a free response DBQ, I think you could use this. See, if I was like, that's what I try to do. I'll talk about the Protestant Reformation, and then I'll talk about increased rates of literacy, and I'll talk about all the different effects. That way, there's more opportunity to go into all the depth. So yeah, multiple choice definitely kind of restrains you, but A, yeah, I can see why A is the right answer. So maybe that might explain the last question. I don't know.
I feel like the people who made these questions focused more on the like printing press part of it, and we focused more on like the religion
Yeah.
and
Religion.
architecture part of it.
Sure. Okay.
Mhm.
The priest in the passage to the left is frightened because
Yeah, that's what we were saying, Chandana, about the tech. Yeah, sorry.
Frightened.
he hates books out of principle.
B.
Um, I don't think
He
that.
resents the fact that it wasn't invented in France.
I think it's B.
Yeah, it's
I
B
think
for
it's B
sure.
too. He loves architectural beauty above
Beauty
all
above.
else. These are two extremists.
If he
Also-
loves, he
Yeah.
loves.
Also, sorry, go Neha.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
This is kind of unrelated, but I was watching the YouTube like video, and the chief reader lady and like the teacher guy, they were like, make sure you press submit on your AP exams, and I was like, oh, how the tables turned, because this was like before AP exams started, and I was like, College Board, you need to get your act together, but I just thought that was funny, and I thought I would share. Okay.
You know what
going.
amazed me the most was when they were like, "Yeah, we've been analyzing and looking at these documents for months, and that's why when we look at your papers, we'll be able to fairly." I'm like, that is just the worst thing ever because we have like 5 minutes to analyze these documents, and then you are looking at these documents for a
I know,
month.
yeah.
I'm like, what? This makes no sense.
I hope they curve it like a lot. Please.
I hope so
curve it
too.
so much.
I hope so too. I really hope they do. All right.
I've seen so many videos of people like submitting like random responses because they have no idea what the question means. Like on TikTok, people like I saw this girl who like submitted the Sophia the First theme song as her response to like
What?
her AP exam, and I was like, what is going on? People are going insane because of this test.
All right.
Anyways, yeah. Let's
Anyways,
focus.
which is the
What?
trend on the left seems to be the best
I guess it's
contemporary
D.
counterpart. Okay, yeah, the digital revolution. I think so too. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're talking
Quantum
about this.
physics.
Space flight.
These are these other answer choices are too like weird. Yeah, it's more
I
about.
was about to say, watch
They're
us be
just
wrong.
mythic, honestly. Because the digital revolution is like technology in
Yeah,
general.
it's after
so-
they like kept talking about technology. That's why.
Okay.
Max
all right.
left.
Yeah, alas. Maybe we'll
Ooh.
come back.
I like
Ooh.
cartoons. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh, I thought that was a guy, and I was really.
An imperial
Um,
stride.
I don't know.
An imperial stride.
Constantinople?
Good. Constant. So this is this might actually be.
The Ottoman? No, Catherine.
I was actually kind of thinking that, but it's
Satirizing Catherine the Great.
the Great of Russia. Okay. So
Maybe
Oh, it's talking about how Catherine the Great wants
they're
to
trying
like
to connect.
expand to like Poland and
Westernized,
stuff
right?
like
yes, yeah. Oh, because they won the war, right? The Rush or what is
that.
it?
Yeah, she was Chandana. Catherine the Great oppressed serfs like a lot.
Poland. If we look up Poland here, yeah. So Russia
Yeah.
during Russian expansion, yeah, and Catherine the Great was responsible for that. So
I
that makes
remember
sense.
exactly. Yeah. I remember talking about this.
Yeah. Okay, so an expression of scorn that a female. That's an interesting.
No.
Uh,
I don't.
It could
No,
be
because
that
Queen
because.
Victoria of
I
England.
don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. No. Obviously not. You're right. An impassioned plea to protect the Middle East from Russian aggression.
No,
No.
that's
Um,
wrong.
Support for Russia's plans to annex large parts
D
of the
then.
Ottoman Empire. I
The
think
thing
it's
is-
that too.
I think it's D, but also like I remember reading that like the British helped like Russia like regain some like territories.
But why would they
But-
satirize them though? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what's confusing me. Yeah.
I think it's D. Yeah, it's D.
I
Okay.
know.
It literally says
Yeah, I'm
satirizing in the
Yeah.
caption.
No, I know it's D. I was just saying that like that
Sure,
that
sure,
was
sure.
something that happened.
All right.
I mean, not everyone in the country has to agree with what the country's policies are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I don't assume, and I wrongly assume that everyone in the country has the same perspective when I'm analyzing political cartoons. That's something I very.
Okay, wait. Just kidding. Just ignore what I just said. That was
Okay.
incorrect.
All right. Never mind then.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, moving on. So we see British disapproval of Russia's foreign policy at this time most probably stemmed from which of the following? Democratic dislike of Russia's autocratic regime. That might be possible. Humanitarian concern. No, if they're imperializing, there's no way they're humanitarian. The fact that Russia's imperial ambitions threaten to conflict with, that's very likely, actually.
I don't think it's A because Britain was not like democratic.
Yeah, they were more.
So-
Yeah, you're right. So I would think it's
Monarchy.
C.
Yeah,
Yeah, parliamentarry monarchy.
parliamentary monarchy.
Theological disputes? No, I think it's C because
No,
obviously they're
think it's
concerned
C,
about
yeah.
themselves, as with all things.
As always.
Yes.
As they all are.
As
just
they
realized
all are.
As they all.
I can't say that because we're recording this. As Mr. Rash says.
Oh wait, no, I said that earlier.
Oh
I
no,
didn't
whatever.
say Mr.
No one's
Are
gonna
you
listen.
showing this to him?
I don't
He's
think
gonna, like,
he
watch
would
it.
watch
No.
this,
MG
would
uploads
he?
it to YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna be like.
Yeah, okay.
No, he's not gonna
whatever.
watch
Let's go
this
watch
anyways.
this entire recording of what they were doing.
Okay, anyways, the fact that the figures on
that's
the left. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is he says that
Oh, okay.
the two things that run the world are money and power,
But
right?
you know who does watch MG's videos?
A lighthearted and
Tyler, the
harmless
creator.
Yep.
Tyler the
Anyways,
creator.
there's
Oh
some
my God.
random yeah, these are fake accounts.
No,
Anyway,
I just thought it was so funny because I didn't.
is
I was
funny.
like, do you not know who he is? It's Tyler, the creator. is a
Anyways.
pretty
Tyler
big
the
deal.
creator.
the fact that the figures on the left are staring up Catherine the Great's skirt. Oh God. Okay.
A lighthearted and harmless joke.
Veiled criticism of Slavic civilization as a whole.
I don't
think
know.
so.
This is such a weird question.
It's a very weird question. You're right.
Lasciviousness.
Sexist and anxiety at the notion of a strong. That might be true.
Maybe.
But
I
not
don't
really.
know. That just seems
British,
weird.
right?
What is a sexist anxiety? Like that's such a weird wording.
A comment on the lavish, lascivious. I don't even know what that. I think that
He's
has to do with
like overly
Gosh,
like
I don't know. This
like
is so
uncomfortably
confusing.
sexual and like I don't know how to explain it. Do you know what like lecherous or like lecherous? I don't know. You know what that means?
No.
Okay, it basically means like you know those old guys who like stare at
Yeah.
like
Oh,
girls. It's like that
I
kind of.
see. Okay, I see. Oh, what a nice definition. The definition for a lecher is a lecherous man. Okay, so a seducer. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like Neha was saying. So, I think it would be A because it's satire, but it's
No,
not
what?
harmless. I mean, it could be
No.
C.
I don't.
I have no idea.
No,
to be
I think-
completely honest.
I
It
think
could be
it's
C or
it's
D.
not
I don't think
A. I
it's
don't
A or
think.
B.
I don't think it's yeah.
You don't think it's A or B?
No, A is
No.
A is not.
All right, let's go with C because the only reason why is because Victoria was a monarch as well, so that's why. I don't know. Let's just see. But Victoria wasn't the monarch yet, so that might make sense. So let's see C. Yeah, that's the right answer. Good. Sexist anxiety of the notion of a strong female monarch. Okay.
A lighthearted and harmless joke.
Yeah, it
Wait,
wasn't.
can you look at the
I don't.
explanation?
Oh yeah, sure. It pokes fun at the Catherine's status as a female ruler, undermining her authority. Male prejudice. Okay. Yeah.
It's so weird because of like Queen Victoria and stuff. But
Yeah.
whatever.
But I don't. Queen Victoria was later. That I think.
Yeah,
that's-
she was after.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Which of the following factors would have added to the greatest urgency to the diplomatic struggle alluded in the cartoon?
no,
I
it's
have
not A.
no idea.
It's not A.
Yeah, it's not that.
Maybe B.
Mm-hmm.
Not D.
It's not D. Yeah.
It might be B or
I
C.
think
It's
B.
probably
It's
C.
B. Oh,
I think it's C.
No, because the waterways between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean wasn't that the like the Suez Canal?
The Suez Canal is
Yes.
near Egypt, right?
I don't know where any of these seas are.
The Black Sea and Mediterranean are near like Europe, like up there.
Okay, let me check.
yeah, I'm looking too. Oh, it's like above Turkey. Like it's like between Turkey
Oh, it
and
connected the Red Sea. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so we have Mediterranean Sea, and what was the other
The
river?
Black Sea's over
the
there,
Black.
that little thing.
The Black Sea is that thing, right? Yeah. So,
Probably.
Oh, okay, just kidding.
I mean, that might make sense. I don't
Didn't
honestly.
the Ottomans have that? I remember
Yeah, the
like the
Ottomans would have
Venetian
had that.
Wars
You're
and
right.
stuff.
But hold on. But at the same time, no, you're right. You're right. Never mind. The Ottomans did have that. So then, would it be B then?
B. Yeah, probably because they
I
were
think it
always
is
trying to
B.
expand.
Yeah, because they were trying to push up, right? So
It's C.
What?
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Explanation. Um. Yeah, B is false apparently,
No.
and D is obviously wrong.
Well,
Yeah, so it would have been strategic. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Which of the following long-term trends is anticipated? The outbreak of World War One? No, that's way too far back. The Greek War of Independence? Maybe, but not really. Russia's permanent
The
conquest of
Great Game.
Constantinople?
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah, I think it's yeah. Because Russia and
That
Britain had
sounds
that.
right.
That is right, because we talked
Wait.
about. I don't know if we talked about it, but I
I
added
was
it in
probably
later.
gone
Yeah,
by
the
this
great.
time.
There is something. The Anglo-Russian Great Game was the fight for Afghanistan and Central Asian states.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Also, I did not read the question. What should? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
yeah.
Great Game is right. Okay.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah.
Oh, William
Oh.
Blake, the Milton cycle.
The Milton
Surrealism.
cycle.
So this is probably industrialization, but it's one of these new. It's one of those new movements that we never
What's
really.
the Baroque? Let's see.
Baroque is like a time period.
The Baroque
Oh.
was the
It was
Italian
after
Renaissance.
like the
Yeah, it was after the Italian Renaissance.
yeah.
didn't we learn about this in
It was
music
like
in 5th grade in choir?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the
because
Baroque.
after
The Baroque was a
like
time period.
first,
Yes.
because it was like classical, and then it's like romantic, and then it's Baroque, and then it's like what's it called? What's the word? Like now
Contemporary.
contemporary.
Yeah.
Yes. I could not think of the
And
word.
sorry. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains
What is
green and
going on with your tabs?
was the holy
Wait,
lamp of God?
when was this written?
This was in 1804 to 1810. Okay. And did the countenance divine? So this is talking a lot about divine.
Can't we
So-
just look up which when the movements were?
We're not gonna have time on the exam.
Okay.
I mean, we can. Yeah, since this is practice, we can. I think it's surrealism. It might be romanticism, but I think it's surrealism. And don't
It
worry too
sounds
much
like-
about
It
this.
sounds
Never mind.
like
It is romanticism.
yeah. I was gonna say that. It sounds like very. I don't know how to explain it. Like glorifying and like really.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's just
So-
like there's a lot of
Yeah,
adjectives
Sounds
and like,
weird.
really passionate language.
Romanticism has to do with inspiration, subjectivity, and the primacy of the individual. Okay, that doesn't explain a lot. So it's more about individual. I know it's about individualism, but
Okay.
glorification. So it's a lot. Yeah. Okay. So it's a lot about glorification, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, emotion. That's what I was saying. Like it sounds. Very...
Surrealism is about what?
Yeah, I mean it sounds surreal. Like,
Avant-garde
uncommon
movement?
Okay,
imagery,
it's
Yeah, it's
avant-garde
strange
essentially.
stuff.
It's avant-garde, and yeah, it's an
Okay.
avant-garde.
Avant-garde.
Okay.
Remember when Miss Schulte was just like avant-garde is not a thing?
Yeah, I mean it isn't really a thing. It's just you can do avant-garde in anything really.
Avant-garde.
Yeah. Remember our avant-garde?
All right, so we
I
actually
don't
have to
even
read
remember.
this.
I think I suppressed that memory. I don't remember it.
Is that the genie one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did
that's the
suppress
genie.
it. I remember now.
I don't want to think about that. Okay, let's keep going.
Mom, I haven't eaten anything.
All right, Blake's connection of England with Jerusalem. Okay, we need to actually read this. Okay, so,
And
and was Jerusalem
among these
built-
dark satanic mills? What is happening? I don't understand this at
No
all.
idea what's going on.
Mills?
I don't
Do
think
you mean
it's
like
A.
millet? I don't know. No.
No, it says like Milton. Like
I will
like
not
the
cease from
Milton
mental
cycle?
fight, nor shall my
No.
sword sleep in my hand till we have built Jerusalem. Okay, he's trying to Yeah, it's an idealistic linkage, I think. He's trying to create an
Oh.
ideal version of what Jerusalem is supposed to
Yeah,
be, and he's trying to
probably.
make that in
Uh-huh.
England, essentially. Yeah.
Very fun. Oh, you know
Okay.
what? The
Oh,
first
God.
artist